Well, those of you that have been on the journey with me on this question, where the butterflies and the hummingbirds sleep, well, we are finally at the conclusion. So, this is the last installment and the last kit. And so, I thought what I would do is put the kit in a box in case you wanted to decorate a box to put your letters and your postcards and the various things that you've made along the way. So your box, of course, I didn't get a ruler. The box is 10 by 8 by 3. And you're going to be getting, because a lot of you just got certain ones. A few of you got all of the series. But for those of you that maybe just picked some that, piqued your interest, I'm going to include all of the prompts because we started in May. And so all of the 6 months will be there. And in case you want to make some additional things with maybe some of the, you know, different types of what am I trying to say? Your own supplies. If you wanted to use your own supplies to fill in on any of the months that maybe you didn't buy the kit. All right, so that will be in there. So I wanted to make this more sort of like where you could create like a little treasure box with various things that you collected along the way, whether you are pretending you're Lyra or Serafina or throwing all their stuff in there together. So there's going to be one of these pencil boxes. We've decorated these together before, so you'll get one of those. You're going to get 10 of these small little tags. I've made little books with these. They come out so cute. That's just one option, but you'll get those. And then I have these pendants. These are plastic, but they're really hard to plastic. And they open up, and you can fill them in with some really cool stuff. So I don't have any two that are alike, so each person will get a different shape to, I'm calling it a pendant, but whatever you decide to use it as, you'll get a different, everyone will get a different shape is what I'm trying to say. I'll get through this. I've included some of just the cleanup sheets that I have with, when I do my eco printing, and I had printed some bookmarks on some watercolor paper. So just tidbits to throw in there. And then I have these napkins. These are paper napkins. And just with that, you're circular. So I thought these would look good, whether I've decoupaged them on pages before. They look really cool. That's one option. So there's 4 of those. And then I included one linen napkin. They will all be a little bit different. Then I was wondering, what could I put in there in case, you didn't want to just paint this or you wanted to decoupage it with something. So I thought these butterflies would work. We had this in, I think, the first kit back in May. But there's lots of butterflies. I put 2 napkins in there in case you wanted to do the majority of the outside. So you have those to go with the theme. And then I decided to put in these napkins. These have the little hummingbirds. And I've watercolored these, and they come out really cool. So if you wanted to cover it with that, that's another option. Then these are just like tickets for traveling, and I thought it might look kind of cool if you put them on here, or if you just made some different kinds of little booklets and had those like they were stamped in there. You're getting both of the letters that Lyra writes to Serafina. I include those every month, the ones that I write. So those are there. This is another, I think it's a pretty cool printout because it's got all kinds of postage stamps and marks. And again, wrapping it up with all the travel that Serafina did. Those would look kind of cool. Of course, these are my favorite hummingbird printouts that I have. I think they're just so delicate. There's another one. Where did it go? Well, we'll get to it. There's another one of that. And then because we have included different pictures along the way of the different relatives, so I've included that in there that we could cut up and use. And this little fairy, little butterfly fairy. And I thought, well, we're doing butterflies. And this is one of my favorite pictures that I have. I'm not into fairies at all, but for some reason, I really like this one. And I thought it would make a nice book cover. Something you could put into the box. And these kids were just adorable. I had to throw them in there. They could have been pictures of Lyra and Serafina when they were small. However you want to incorporate in there. And here is the other one that I like. Here we go. Hummingbirds. And of course we did a postcard. So I've included both postcards. Oh, you know what I did on here? Uh-oh. Oh no, it's I thought I did both of them the same. They're not. They are different. Very good. I'm seeing double. And here are some of the printouts I did to make the postcards with. So I've just included 2 for the butterflies. You can decide which one you want to use for the back of your postcard. And 2 of the hummingbirds. And see which one you want to use. They're both equally nice. And then some printouts that can be part of the correspondence or just the ephemera that you have inside of the box. More butterflies and hummingbirds. At one point I was going to use these as postcards, but I went with the other ones. Just some more travel ephemera. Some more butterflies. More envelopes and cards that you can use. Some envelopes. I'm putting these long. I love these envelopes. So I've got 2 of those that are going in there. And just a piece of coffee dyed. I think this is file folder. Maybe cut out little pieces to make some little tags or something, or tabs. And then one of these. Nice size. These really coffee dye, really nice, and tea dye. And you can print on it too. So you could just cut this, put it through your printer and print something on it. It looks really cool. And then I love working with this, whether it's on covers or if it's on the boxes or if you even line the box. And then, you know, when you paint it or use inks on it, it's really, really pretty. So anyway, so that is pretty much all the goodies that you'll be getting in the final chapter of Serafina's Hunt for the answer for her sister, Lyra. And it'll be interesting to see the conclusion that you guys come up with as to the answer to the question. We'll all have a different answer. Won't that be cool? All right, then. So these are in the shop. And bittersweet endings, you know, it always has to come to an end. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you guys did too. And the last one is in the shop.